Hello, we're Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile, and today, we're getting trapped.
Ooh, are we watching The Parent Trap?
Huh? No, we're watching the 1979 horror film Tourist Trap.
Where the mannequins are more animated than Lindsay Lohan.
Tourist Trap was directed by David Schmoeller, who was raised in Texas. Like Toby Hooper, he went to the University of Texas at Austin to study film. His student film, The Spider Will Kill You, also featuring a weirdo talking to mannequins, received an Academy Award Student Film nomination in 1974, losing in the finals to Robert Zemeckis.
Whoever the hell that is!
His first feature film was Tourist Trap, which happens to be one of Stephen King's favorite movies. Probably because of the telekinesis? Schmoeller would go on to direct The Seduction and Puppet Master, which became a huge franchise.
It has more sequels than I can count. 4.
Tourist Trap was co-written by J. Larry Carroll, who pitched the film to famous director and founder of Full Moon Productions, Charles Band. J. Larry Carroll also edited the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and would go on to write for a lot of TV shows, like He-Man, Ghostbusters, Dennis the Menace, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Star Trek: The Next Generation. So, let's hit the road and take a trip to Slauson's Lost Oasis. Eileen and her boyfriend, Woody, are driving through the California desert when their car gets a flat tire. In horror, usually the car breaks down later, but we're not wasting any time. Luckily, their friends Becky, Jerry, and Molly are traveling in a different vehicle.
Look at the size of that hole.
Oh, come on! Becky is played by Tanya Roberts, best known for Charlie's Angels, The Beastmaster, and A View to Kill.
She was also the MILF on that 70s show.
Anyway, they collect Eileen and drive off to find Woody.
And I don't think this will end like Toy Story.
Woody has found a gas station, but it appears deserted.
Hey, can I get some service?
Sorry, sir. This is a jacket and tie gas station. He enters the back room, but becomes trapped by an unseen force.
Open the door!
No, he said the door. Objects move, and various mannequins appear and laugh at him. Come on down to Oscar's gas station, where our goods are flying off the shelf. The heckling ends when Woody gets some pipe.
Your line is...
He was due for an oil change.
The original screenplay didn't feature any telekinetic powers. The mannequins were able to move and kill because they were haunted. However, producer Charles Band insisted it be included. To achieve this effect, the set was rotated 90 degrees, so the objects are actually dropping from the ceiling.
Pull! Don't push!
Spotting what they think is Woody's tire, they head to Slauson's Lost Oasis. Laying the death symbolism on a little thick there. What's next? A hitchhiking Grim Reaper? Outside the museum, their vehicle also mysteriously breaks down. While Jerry tries to start the car, the girls go looking for help. And by help, what I really mean is go skinny dipping. The script called for nudity, but first-time director David Schmoeller was too embarrassed to bring it up during casting.
What a schmo!
When they got to the lake scene, Schmoeller finally asked the actors if they'd be willing. The collective answer was... no.
Damn it! At least Tanya Roberts was in Playboy.
Mr. Slauson, the owner of the tourist trap, appears holding a shotgun.
You kids enjoying yourselves?
You got room for one more?
Chuck Connors was the filmmaker's third choice behind Jack Palance and Gig Young. Connors accepted the role because he wanted to be the Boris Karloff of the 80s.
Dead?
Chuck Connors is best known for the TV show The Rifleman, which put him in the Cowboy Hall of Fame. Kevin Connors was a former pro basketball player and allegedly the first to break a backboard. However, baseball was Connors' first love, and he briefly played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, where he got the nickname Chuck.
I thought it was because his face looks like a roast.
A casting director for MGM spotted the 6'6" player and offered him some roles. Connors focused on acting after realizing he wouldn't make it in baseball.
Sad. He had skin like a catcher's mitt.
Slauson seems embittered by the decline of his tourist trap since the construction of a new highway.
And then the government decided to build a new highway.
The same thing happened to the Bates Motel. That and the owner went a little psycho. Before leaving, Slauson gives the girls a warning.
You all best leave before it gets dark.
The pond, that is. He uses it as a toilet. Slauson offers to help Jerry fix the car, but wants the group to visit his home while he grabs his tools. There, they enter Slauson's lost oasis.
Where did you get all this junk?
Me, when I enter any downtown antique store. The tourist trap is full of animated waxwork figures.
Damn! He missed!
If it weren't unsettling enough, Under the Mask is really a mime. Eileen is curious about a nearby house, but Slauson insists that the women should stay away from his brother Davey.
Who's Davey?
What, Davy Crockett? Who else?
I don't know. The gimp tied up in the basement? While Slauson takes Jerry to fix the car, Eileen wants to use the phone.
But it doesn't work. I got nobody to call.
The Ghostbusters disagree.
Looking for a phone in the other house, Eileen finds a bunch of mannequins.
Oh my God.
Mrs. Bates must have had plastic surgery.
Slauson's parents are really Charles Band's father, Albert, and David Schmoeller's mother-in-law. The mannequins keep a watch on Eileen as a stranger appears wearing a mask of Woody's face. Woody's face had that effect on mirrors. Offering up a seat, various items in the room move on their own, and Eileen's scarf strangles her. Wait a minute, he's not magic, he's been using string!
In horror, even a doggy figurine has to die.
Eileen is played by Robin Sherwood, known for her roles in Blowout and Death Wish 2, where she played the dead daughter.
Careful, Davey. You don't want to mess with Charles Bronson.
The art direction and special effects were handled by Robert A. Burns, who made all the bone furniture and Leatherface's masks in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. As a joke, the crew nicknamed Davey Plasterface. One of the things I like most about Tourist Trap is that the killer's masks remind me of Leatherface. Back at the museum, Molly discovers the mannequin of Slauson's wife.
Feels like flesh.
It's amazing what they can do nowadays with a sex doll.
Slauson returns, saying that Jerry drove into town, and he begins talking about his dead wife.
She can make a pot of chili, make your mouth water just thinking about it.
Don't get him started on what it would do to his rectum. He explains that his wife died of cancer in his arms.
Why did he have cancer in his arms?
What? No, she had cancer.
In her arms?
Little buddy, seriously?
I'm sorry, I get carried away sometimes.
Like when he listens to Goodbye Horses and tucks his wiener.
Connors had a history of not getting along with his co-stars. During the making of Tourist Trap, the breathing exercises Jocelyn Jones did before a scene annoyed him. He didn't get it because he was a former baseball player, not a trained actor. Meanwhile, Jocelyn Jones has been an in-demand acting teacher for over 25 years in Hollywood. Slauson then notices one of the girls is missing. When told that Eileen left, he limps off to the house and finds Eileen has been turned into a mannequin.
Oh my God.
Why is she wearing a hammock?
Slauson returns and tells Molly and Becky he did not find Eileen.
What are you doing?
I'm going to find her.
With a gun?
All right, without a gun.
A shotgun is how he found his wife. Frustrated, Becky leaves and sneaks into the house looking for her friend.
Eileen. Eileen.
Come on, Eileen.
Jesus.
You know, with telekinesis, he could have been a superhero. Instead, he humps mannequins. Huh. Having found Eileen, Becky is attacked by the killer and a bunch of mannequins getting off the bus. Oh no, wait, there's more.
Those are some clumsy mannequins.
We got Slauson right. Act 1, 979. On two. Ready? Break!
Becky later wakes up tied to the basement stairs with Jerry. Also held captive is Tina, another traveler who is strapped to a table.
We're all going to die.
She's gonna die from that frog in her throat. Davey puts his face on and has a little party with his captives.
It's time. The party's over.
His parents called, and they're on the way. David Schmoeller heard one of the worst ways to die was suffocation, so Tina's face is covered in plaster. In reality, they used pizza dough.
This is how the Italians waterboard their enemies.
Chewing his way to freedom, Jerry attacks Davey, fighting over Leatherface's old sledgehammer. But Jerry is overpowered. He's weak. All he's had to eat today was rope. While Jerry fails to chew through his chains, Plasterface flaunts his craft and powers.
Pretty good trick, huh? My brother doesn't like me to do that stuff.
Look, Mr. Slauson, we know it's you.
I shouldn't have to hide it, but it scares me. Sometimes I really don't know what I'm doing.
Plasterface is one of those people that fail upwards.
Isn't she pretty?
I've seen less makeup on a 2-bit whore.
Molly is then pursued by Plasterface.
See my friend?
Woody, there's something different about you. New hat?
Little girl.
What? What, Woody? What is it? Nothing. she runs into Slauson, who drives her back to the museum and gives her a gun while he goes inside. He's not getting help. He just really has to pass a kidney stone.
Mr. Slauson, are you coming? Mr. Slauson!
Look, Molly, putting on a disguise takes a minute. Plasterface appears and Molly fires, but the gun is shooting blanks.
The same reason Slauson and his wife never had kids.
Dang, dang, you're dead. Dang, dang, you're dead.
That was for wearing an ascot. Davey removes his mask, revealing himself to be... Oh, you. The credits say Schuyler Kobe plays Davey, but that's the name of the director's son. It was done to protect that oh-so-surprising reveal. It was even Connor's idea to give Mr. Slauson a limp to help hide that he's also Davey. After a short chase and baptism, Molly is captured and tied to a bed. That, or the blanket, is tucked in too tight. Becky finds a file, and they escape from the basement while Slauson has some dinner.
The crackers are very good.
Are the crackers good?
Those must have been some good crackers.
The two just have to sneak past Slauson, who has reverted back to his childhood.
Oh my.
Look, if you had bangs like that as a kid, you would also turn travelers into mannequins. However, Slauson senses something is up.
Did you see something?
Shh, be still and don't fidget so much.
Mrs. Bates and her bring a lot of energy to bingo night. Luckily, Slauson has a hard time seeing what's real anymore. Fed up, Jerry makes a break for it.
He has to cut the sleeves off more shirts.
Jon Van Ness actually did his own stunt, jumping through that window. Chuck Connor's son appeared as Davey in the photo album and briefly here in The Mask.
You can't get away from me, mister.
Me, forearm deep into a can of Pringles. Becky trips her way back to the museum where Slauson uses his powers to kill her. It's never really explained why Slauson has these powers. Perhaps it has something to do with being kicked in the head?
Hell, I was kicked out of the Navy when I was 19, kicked in the head when I was 20, and kicked into jail when I was 21.
For a rifleman, he sure is a lousy shot.
Next time, she should hide behind the wall.
This effect was achieved with a knife on a wire going into a block of wood behind her head. Schmoeller didn't use a sound effect because he found the real sound disturbing. Back at the house, Molly suddenly has the flu, and a mannequin comes to life, offering her Slauson's spit cup. That was David Schmoeller's ex-wife. She had lines, but he cut them, and she never forgave him.
Probably why they got divorced.
Slauson returns, and he brings Molly upstairs.
Mr. Slauson is the killer!
What? Little buddy, keep up!
Was that Steven Tyler?
It's time.
Not sure if that was his powers, or his attic is drafty. In Davey's old room, Slauson puts a mask of his wife on Molly, who reminds him of her. But when evil does that, we get kicked out of Spirit Halloween. Realizing he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, Slauson confesses to killing his wife and brother.
They were whoring behind my back.
Well, if you were watching, we'd have to call you Cuck Connors.
A man finds his wife cheating on him. He's got a legal right to kill them both.
Sadly, this hasn't been her worst first date.
That was the law in Texas until 1973. It was carved on the courthouse wall, which was also a trailer. Suddenly, Jerry enters like Kramer to rescue Molly. I guess it is harder to jump through an attic window.
Kill him, Jerry. Kill him, Jerry! Kill him!
What Elaine thinks anytime Newman shows up. But Jerry has also been turned into a mannequin. Whoa. How do we know if we're not a mannequin? The mannequins then come to life, all around her.
Thing, does Wednesday know you're in a finger gangbang?
Slauson dances with the figure of his wife that has become animated. It's especially baffling when his wife starts twerking. According to the first assistant director, everyone was using cocaine. Losing her mind, Molly kills Mr. Slauson with an axe. Sounds like me trying to get off the toilet after my legs go numb.
Way to go, Molly. You just put all of those mannequins out of a job.
With the vulture hitting his mark, Molly drives away with her mannequin friends.
Anything to get into the carpool lane.
To get into character, Jones pretended she was an 8-year-old heading to a birthday party.
But 8-year-olds can't drive.
In the end, we got a body count of 6. Director David Schmoeller was shocked when the film received a PG rating despite its subject matter and violence. It's one of the few slashers to be rated PG, as the PG-13 rating didn't exist for 5 more years. Schmoeller felt the film would have been more successful had it been R-rated. However, thanks to the PG rating, Tourist Trap was played a lot on syndicated TV. Many horror fans remember seeing it as a kid.
Meanwhile, I was afraid of Zeke, the plumber.
So, if the kids at camp know I have a stuffed animal and I suck my thumb, I used to suck my thumb.
At camp, there are worse things to suck.
Italian composer Pino Donaggio was in town working on Joe Dante's Piranha, while David Schmoeller was filming Tourist Trap. Schmoeller didn't know Italian, but they both knew Spanish, and Schmoeller convinced Donaggio to score his film. Just a couple years earlier, Donaggio scored the music for Carrie, another film about telekinetic murders. Donaggio's fee on Tourist Trap was 1/6 of the $300,000 budget, and one of the producers hated the score because it didn't sound like John Carpenter's Halloween.
That's too bad, lick my nutsack, that's too bad.
Tourist Trap has some menacing music, and some of the effects and imagery are surreal and nightmarish. However, like a nightmare, parts of this don't make any sense. It borrows its plot from Psycho and is too cliched to be great, but too good to be entertainingly bad.
Thanks to the Blu-ray, you can see the string in every shot.
Slauson is an artist with a twisted talent. He collects tourists and makes mannequin replicas of them, adding them to this world he has created, Davey's house. Slauson is trying to get his dead wife back. The film explores themes of keeping the dead alive, how to keep their memory alive. Tourist Trap features an unsettling atmosphere, chilling music, a strong Chuck Connors performance, and creepy imagery. Tourist Trap is a flawed but underrated low-budget 70s horror film that could maybe use a remake? Hell, I'm told the remake of House of Wax is more a remake of Tourist Trap. Wait a minute. We've been Andy, the Maniacal Cinephile.
Thanks for liking and subscribing.
We'll see you next time.